Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the Vulture. In today's episode, we have one very simple goal. I want to achieve around about 50,000 resource. The reason being, I want to make some massive changes to our helicopter, I want to add advanced cannons, I want to increase the hull size. There is a lot we really need to do, and to do this, we need material. So what we're going to be doing is hunting enemies, going from resource zone to resource zone, and staying on this plane for as long as possible, until we can eventually find a blue, what's it called? Warp gate. A blue warp gate, there's the word I was looking for. That has lasers, oh dear god. Well, suddenly I feel a little bit less safe than I was a second ago. But yes, lasers, blue warp gate sends us to a plane without enemies and without resource zones, so we are pretty safe to just sit there and try to retrofit our vehicle. And oh dear lord, I hope I can get close enough without dying. To be honest, we just got hit then and did very little, so at this range, the weapon doesn't seem to be doing much, so as long as we can get in range to hit them with our EMP and our missiles, we should be okay. How far away is this? Well, I'll be back in a second when either I die or we are close enough to the enemy to start shooting it down. It turns out the enemy is a Lightning Hood submarine, so because of this I am now shooting torpedoes rather than missiles, and I'm hoping this will be good enough to take out the enemy before that laser completely destroys us. Can it fire behind it is a perfectly valid question I now wish to ask. Yes, it can. That is really annoying. Okay, then, that was a very stupid thing to do. What we do need for the future is smoke dispensers, in addition to the munition warners. We currently have all of the munition warners set up for the anti-missile stuff, so if we could add some smoke dispensers to that system, that would be fantastic. Back section's been removed, so hopefully now it can't move. Not that that's really going to hinder it too much, since the lasers are on very odd-looking turrets. If we stay to the side of it, I don't think it can actually fire on us. Yeah, where we are now. If we stay where we are now, or to the broad side of it, it can't shoot at us. So let's try to move out, wishing my turning was faster yet again. Massive explosion on the side there. Well done, torpedoes. That was kind of stressful, honestly. Is it destroyed? Okay, off. I want to do my first steal of the adventure mode. Okay, get ready. This is really risky because it is currently healing. Motor drive off. I could bind that to the complex controller, I believe, so I may do that in the future. Okay, still firing at us, which is very annoying. Excuse me. Hello. Very loud noises. Where would your mainframe be, buddy? If you were a mainframe, where would you be? Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because someone told me that enemy heartstones count as heartstones as long as you're close by. It doesn't really matter if it's yours or not. Now, sadly, my lovely helicopter just destroyed the heartstone of this thing, so yeah, that's wonderful. Going to get back to replenish my health, which you can see on the bottom right. Oh, is that it? Okay, that is either just a processing unit or it is the AI. Oh, it was the AI! It was the AI! Okay, then where is my helicopter? I need to get to it right this second, because I am dying currently. Then we can scrap that thing. Submarine is the word I was looking for. Okay! Wow, my heart was going a bit then. We have captured the submarine. That is glorious. Now, the big thing I did see was it was completely filled with RTGs, and RTGs are incredibly expensive, which means we have a lot of things which are very expensive, which we can now scrap. I'm afraid you're being scrapped. Destroy the whole thing. Wow, we are now at 37,000 resource. That is a massive increase. Very, very happy with that. Almost died, though. Just bear that in mind. We definitely took more damage than we had to. So, Things we need at the moment then. We currently already have the munition warners, so what I would really like are these. Laser warners and smoke dispensers. Ooh. Do the munition warners not detect for lasers? No, it's just missiles and cram. Okay, so we do need laser warners as well. That'll be quite easy. All we need to do is wherever we have one of these munition warners, just knock out a bit next to it, put down a connector, and put down a laser warner next to that. And I'll do that for everywhere I have a munition warner, and then all we need to do is put down some smoke dispensers, and that will make us very hard to kill via laser. Well, this is a very interesting bug indeed. For some reason, my helicopter has stopped abiding the rules of physics. In addition to this, the heartstone no longer works on it. Look, it isn't doing anything. I can't do anything with it. It's got fuel, it's got engine power, the heartstone's still there. The rotors have stopped mid-spin. It's completely glitched out. So, I don't know what to do at this stage. I've just tried to fix it a few times, and I have no idea what to do. I am completely lost with this. After reloading the game a grand total of 7 times, I found out what the issue was. It was all tied to the vehicle respawner and scrapper. When I scrapped my new submarine, which I just stole, it completely destroyed it and thus left it as a blueprint. The blueprint then tried to leave the game, it tried to be a non-tangible entity, and by doing this, it caused everything to freeze. It caused my helicopter to try and do the same for some reason. I'm not sure why. And this explains why I couldn't build on the helicopter, why the heartstone didn't work, why the engines were no longer consuming oil, and why the blades had stopped spinning and all the control blocks weren't doing anything. The game thought it wasn't loaded in anymore, but the model remained because of the game mode. That's the only explanation I can think of at the moment. If I find out exactly what causes that, it will be in the description. And of course, please, if you've had a similar problem and know what causes it, please tell me in the comments below so I don't repeat the mistake I clearly made. So anyway, with that out the way, all that silliness, I'm going to be changing the particle cannons. I've just removed them, and we are going to be re-adding the torpedoes, because I really like torpedoes, and clearly a lot of the enemies are going to be underwater. We now have anti-laser stuff, we now have anti-missile stuff, now we need anti-submarine weaponry. And there we are. Once again, we now have torpedoes as a more standard weapon, rather than me having to swap them out constantly. So what I need to do with this then is maximum altitude is about 34, 35, something around that, so 35. The enemy we are coming up against then is a ship. Okay, cool. That means the enemy will be very, very vulnerable to our torpedoes, and I may as well keep the missiles as torpedoes for now. U-35 as well. That is definitely maximum altitude, okay. And there we are, explosive torpedoes on a one-axis turret this time, because the two-axis turret seemed to not really do all that much, honestly. And with that, towards the enemy, this time hopefully with less glitches. Actually, just in case, save progress. Well, it seems like I forget just about everything. So, first of all, I forgot to add staggered fire to our torpedoes, which would have been a massive waste of damage. And then I also forgot to change over our fuel. So there we are, fuel storage. I did do this once, but then the helicopter crashed and started to bug out. So I was a little bit wary to do it again until I was certain the bug wouldn't happen. At least that's my excuse, and I'm sure you all totally believe it. There we are, and finally, I would like to add a bit more material storage, because right now we are very, very close to the maximum amount, and we can probably put that on line with our weight over here. There we are. And so we can now hold 61,000. Okay, onwards again towards the enemy. Going at a whopping 49 still. Excellent. What is that? Oh, it's been fighting. Is that an old school Atlas? Is that an old school Atlas? Well, regardless what it is, it's currently fighting me, so let's go back into build mode so I can see what I'm doing. Let's turn off the UI for once and see how this fight's going to go. I did remember to turn back on my AI. I am a genius of remembrance. Was that actually even fighting me? And here's the bigger question. If this thing's damaged, it either A, killed something, so well done Atlas for actually getting a kill, or B, something damaged it and ran off, so there very well may be another enemy. But by the looks of it, I think the Atlas won, so well done to the Atlas for killing an enemy. I do have a soft spot for this particular flyer, although I'm still not sure if this even is the Atlas. There are so many versions of it now, it just very much reminds me of it. Just need to stay back, slow down, there we go. Wow, just about dodging that. Are the torpedoes going to be released from our turrets? Yes, they are. We need to change it so that they can fire a bit further along. And there is a new enemy now in the distance. I wonder why the Atlas can't fly at the moment. Do you think it's out of fuel? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because it does have all of those rotor blades spinning away. So you would assume, I am controlling the speed so weirdly right now to dodge these, you would assume that it would be able to fly away, especially with those balloons currently online. Maybe as we do damage, we will allow it to fly by lightening it, by decreasing the amount of blocks it has. Where on earth are my torpedoes I just shot? Hit the top. Oh, there are the torpedoes I just shot. And those ones actually landed on top of it as well. I can't land to try and capture it as long as it's still firing at me. I would love to because of the amount of resource that would get me, but right now it feels like just circling it, firing torpedoes, and wow, well done EMP shot, and staying as safe as possible would be the best option. And at this stage, I don't want to jump down purely because of how many torpedoes are currently in the water. Yeah, that thing's going to detonate at random at the moment. 2 enemies now. So right now, we don't have any anti-air capability, so I do need to swap over these back to their old selves. Infrared, this goes back to being a variable. We don't need the ballast tank anymore, so that... The fins are in the wrong order, by the way. Fins go at the back, then we add the variable thruster here, then you two can become fuel, and we'll just keep it as that. Although we did take some damage somehow. Oh, probably because I was just shooting missiles which were half offline. Or, maybe the Atlas got a little bit more online. Who knows? One of the two. Fuel, variable, fins, okay. That's a really slow missile. And AI dead. We could have very easily captured that, but now let's move on to the next enemy as soon as this thing detonates. By the looks of it, it's not just one enemy, and one of them has just been killed already, so there's a ship, a flyer, and a second flyer, or at least that's how it looks from this distance. Let's see if we can close the gap a little bit and hopefully join in, and perhaps get some resources from our destruction. Also, over there is a lovely resource zone, so regardless how we do, we will be getting the 50,000 resource I wanted at the start. Only the enemy ship now remains, and by the looks of things, it's one of the broadsiding ships once again from the Onyx Watch, which, to be perfectly honest, isn't a particularly hard target for the Vulture, since the Vulture can dodge cram cannon shots very easily since we're not running on AI movement. So manual movement tends to be very hard for AI to predict since it's completely randomized. Torpedoes are out, so are the missiles, doing a massive amount of damage to the back of the enemy ship. Okay, if we stay here, we can avoid the broadside. EMP doing a little bit of work this time. Hopefully the torpedoes will be hitting soon. It's hard to see, honestly, unless we go into this mode. There's the torpedoes. Why is it going towards us and not trying to broadside at this range? That's really surprising. Wow. How did you kill the flyers? Just normally the broadsiding ships don't do too well even against the AI flyers, so I have no idea how this was the victor. Either way though, a pretty easy kill for us. We could try to capture this. Is something we could do. However, we'd have to make sure that those weapons are offline, otherwise we could lose the Vulture, since we'd be sitting ducks. Okay, for now, everything off. There's too much resource in that ship, since how expensive they are, for me to just completely ignore it. There is an enemy flyer though, so we need to do this really quickly. We also need to make sure we have enough resource to grab everything as soon as we come back. Oh boy, there are now several enemies spawning in, because we have been on this plane of existence for far too long, and we've been in one area for far too long. Please have a Heartstone. Yes, you do. Glorious. So, let's assume the AI is going to be in here. It'd be a bit silly, to be honest, but let's just assume it anyway. And we are losing health. Okay, the Heartstone has been destroyed at some stage. We need to keep on jumping back to the helicopter then. That's going to be very, very annoying. Or we could try to get the helicopter a little bit closer. That would actually be really, really helpful right now. Closer. Perfect. So now I can stay on the boat as long as I want, as long as I go to the front of the boat whenever I start to lose too much Heartstone energy. So, there's a hole I made here and nothing in there, so it's not in the main room, which is a real shame, honestly. So we will have to look elsewhere. I'm not sure where on earth you would put the AI on this thing, because it's just all weapon. Look at how much space is being taken up by these stationary cram cannons. It's a little bit ridiculous. Well, we have engines, and we have resource, so I'm thinking it might be in the room behind there. Oh, a random metal wall. I think that is indeed where the AI is home. So, let's just charge here, go back again, and see if we can take out the AI. I'm just hoping we don't get under attack before we can complete our current task. Oh, by the sound of it, we're currently under attack. Okay then, work faster. Was that the AI? Okay, that was definitely the AI, because everything's just turned full-on circus mode. And with that, let's get out of here as fast as possible, and are we under attack? Yes, we are, because we are repairing the helicopter right now. Okay, I have no idea what the enemy is, so with that, and me hardly able to see because of the green blur, let's get back onto here. Let's once again add the... I think it's under MISC. The scrapper, and let's get... Okay, we just got hit. Let's get into the air, is what I was going to say. I mean, technically I am in the air, so thank you very much to the enemy for that. And let's start scrapping. Goodbye, Churl. This time I'll also make sure to delete the blueprint before we go. Then we're going to run for it. Okay, there we go. We got the resource. Okay, destroy, completely destroy this. We're running. We are running, we are running, we are running. What's after us? A massive airship. Okay. Please repair faster. I need repair bots. Okay, my picture's gone. That's great. We're going to become a spaceship at this rate. Just need to make it out of here. Oh, repair faster, please. Okay, that's back. The picture's back, which means now we can hopefully outpace this thing. That is one very scary looking airship, and one I do not want to fight at all right now. If I keep on moving like I am now in this weird zigzag pattern, it's actually quite difficult for their cannons to hit me, so let's continue with that. How fast are we moving? Nowhere near full speed. Why not? Because we have no fuel for our engines, that's why. So, resources! Fuel, fuel, fuel for fuel, there we go. Keep moving forwards. This is so difficult when I'm trying to build and move. Sure, really vulnerable, don't care. Speed, far more important right now. Turn on the normal engines. My heart's going a bit funny right now, because I just got a load of resource. I don't want to instantly lose it. I think it's struggling now. Did we make it? We made it. We made it! Take that. Well done, Vulture. You did your job perfectly. You descended upon an enemy that can't fight you back normally. We killed it, we harvested it, and now we are running away from an enemy which is far our superior. By the looks of things, we are much, much faster than the enemy. Now, one thing we could do, which I'm not going to do, is keep on cycling around. The reason being that the enemy will eventually run out of oil, or fuel, or whatever you want to call it, just general fuel stuff, which means it will be a sitting duck for us, and thus we can we can torpedo it from a very long range away. But that is very optimistic with the idea of us surviving that long, so I think we're just going to continue to run away as fast as possible towards the west, which is this way. Goodbye, enemy. You were so close. A resource zone is within our grasp, and the enemy is a fair distance away, so I think we managed to get away with that, and we now have 81,000 resource to our name, which means we can hopefully purchase some more RTGs, which I clearly need, or we can upgrade our normal engines, or whatever we want to do, until we find a blue warp gate. Now, the blue warp gates, I think, are incredibly rare, but it would give us time to do a full retrofit, that is to allow the helicopter to land in the water and do some massive changes whilst not being completely vulnerable. And that's exactly what I want to do. However, after we leave the blue warp gate and go back to a normal world, it means there is a huge difficulty spike, because the blue warp gate increases difficulty, and then the blue warp gate plane only summons in red warp gates, so double difficulty increase. Then, we'll have to just run for a green one, because there's no way I'm going up 2 difficulty levels. Really? That's all there was in that resource zone? Seems pretty random. Well, for now, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths Adventure Mode is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next episode, I will have hopefully already found my way to a blue warp gate, or a resource zone, or something interesting, and we can get underway completely retrofitting this poor little helicopter. It's going to be a lot larger and hopefully a lot more powerful, whilst still being very close to its current speed. The speed of this thing has saved me now about 3 or 4 times, and is definitely its strongest attribute. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.